G'day everyone, T-Nick back here again in Transport Fever. That victorious whistling you hear is two of our trains celebrating the new flying junction here at Moreno Valley. We've got one of the Mount Importance trains storming up the hill, while one of the slightly more dated trains on the River Line has just finished traversing the bridge and is now heading down to the single track section. Oh, and here comes another train from Mount Importance. It's all happening today, folks. Stay tuned, we are going to finish double tracking the River Line today and probably, do some other stuff as well. But yeah, that's what we accomplished last time, a fun little flying junction here. I think it's working quite well. I mean, it certainly stopped interrupting these trains passing through. Wow, we've got a bit of a traffic jam forming, although I think you're one of the new trains. Yeah, you're going to the Southern Cross Country, so you're okay, you're excused. But yeah, so we've removed any argy-bargy here between the River Line and the Mount Importance line. Here comes another River Line train, which means we are free to expand both lines with more traffic, and yeah, shouldn't see any delays. Well, not caused by this area anyway. I mean, I'm sure there are junctions further down the line we could work on. Yeah, but without further ado, we'll get on with double tracking that River Line, so we can put more and better trains on there too. So the first section of the River Line we need to work on is just some direction. If that's south, that'd be what? If that means that's not west. We're west of Plano. There we go. I figured it out. I had to orientate myself north to make sure I knew what I was doing. But yeah, we've got to do this short section, Plano to Moreno Valley, and wouldn't you know it, I just had a look. This track comes in from the right, and then do you want to hazard a guess what side the other track comes off on? The left. Yeah, as usual, planning has fallen by the wayside. So we are going to have to use the pause button for this, because there's going to be some slight demolishing going on as we sort of correct that little oversight or undersight or sight. I don't know. We've got to correct whatever it is. So we'll just bring this track down here, and that level crossing should be fine. I mean, if it's adding another track, it doesn't seem to typically have problems with level crossings, but you never know. We'll have to have a bit of a look later. So we'll get rid of that signal there and that signal there, because they are probably redundant. And we'll get rid of that one because it might not be where we want it to be. This one here can stay though, because it's perfectly functional. It's doing functional things like protecting this sort of depot junction-y area from trains and stuff. I don't know what the technical term is. It's doing the job a signal should do. It's not sitting there watching telly and eating popcorn. It's actually getting out there and signalling to trains that, hey, maybe now's not a good time, or you'll hit that other train, because, well, as we've seen, my train drivers have little to no common sense. They're just like, no, there's no train in the way, off we go, doot, doot, yay, bang, and someone else has to pick up the pieces. Yeah, once we've double-tracked this line, I reckon the River Line is on the list to get upgraded, because that's a poor, sad, tired-looking train. It's only 15 years old. Never mind, it can keep going. It's fine. So yes, we double-tracked over the bridge here, and then we sort of phoned it in because we ran out of time. Because, well, I don't want to record too long, because you'll get bored and wander off and actually look at something far more entertaining. Now, this passing loop down here, that's going to be an interesting... In fact, this whole little... I don't know what you call it, an S-curve. We've got the money in the bank. Why don't we make it go away? So what side do we want to come in on? Where the loop is coming in on the right here. So we want to connect this track up to the left. Why didn't I build it like that to begin with? That's not even that much landscaping. That just looks so much better, and I'm sure it's so much faster too. We'll keep it paused, and we'll just demolish back a bit here. No, don't demolish anymore. You've demolished enough. You've been cut off from the. No, calm down. Just want a parallel. Parallel is fine. We don't need to go building bridges and tunnels and tunnel bridges and bridge tunnels, because, well, that just seems like a poor use of money when we've got a perfectly good alignment we've already built. And hopefully that has mitigated some of the hills that our trains were facing. Not that we've got too many hills on the River Line, because, well, by its very nature, it follows a river, so it's all pretty flat down here. So now we've got this loop ending here on the left, and then we come around to this junction here. Now, this junction here, we're gonna have to obviously do something with. And then, of course, we've got the station over here. So how do the lines work here? So the River Line turns around here. It does. And then the what's it called line goes to Sioux Falls, the Midland line. What are you? What are you? You are the Southwestern branch. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. Just testing you at home. Just making sure you knew what it was called. Sure. We should probably build a second bridge out here for starters. That's a good starting point. Now, if we are going to ramp up services, do we want to have a separate turnaround track here? No, I guess the Midland line is pretty sort of relaxed in its train frequency. So for now, I think we can get away with turning all trains around on platform 2 there and just sending them back again. But that's definitely something we'll have to keep an eye on in the future. Now we are going to have to rebuild this junction somewhat. So if we build that line out like that, that's a good start. Yeah, I know, right? And we just put a set of points in there for now because we don't need to. Yep, that looks like a nice smooth diamond there. That's good. And then we should be able to just drag out a second track like that. Oh, that was a lot easier than anticipated. Not that I'm complaining. I'm very much happy with that. So we'll bring this second track down here. You're seeing it too, right? I just can't double track to save my life. Okay, so we'll just boom, 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 demolish it all back so we can keep a nice smooth sort of curve. Collision. What are you colliding with? Oh, I see. Oh, we didn't think to demolish. $13 worth of track. Yeah, budget cuts are a bitch, aren't they? So that should work, and that should get rid of the warning we've got. Huzzah! And we should signal this junction up as well. So that's a one-way signal there, please. Yeah. Now the problem is we'll have a train that then sort of banks back there, but I think we're only wanting one train on that line. Yeah, we're only running one train on that line. Talking. Yeah, so that's not a problem in itself just yet. When we want to add a second train, we'll have to stop being lazy at this junction and actually accomplish something else. But for now, cheap and cheerful is what we're going with. So that's the junction sorted out. I should make that a one-way signal, just because. Now we'll put in signals at this level crossing here, and oh yes, we've got a big long stretch we haven't put signals on either. We should probably sort that out. Now the river line is way too underutilized for the infrastructure we've built, but yeah, hopefully we can fix that, because Fort Collins to Mesquite, that's the sort of the entire width of the map, and then a bit because the river goes on a diagonal. So we can probably, well, we definitely shoehorn a few more trains on there. And in fact, he's running at capacity out of Fort Collins. He's left 42 people behind, so we definitely need to do something about that. Where would be a convenient depot to use? Probably the one at Plano. There's a Riverline train coming in now, which is good. What's the frequency like at the moment? 23 minutes, yeah, and people are still using it, so that obviously says the service is in demand. Now, what are we looking at? We've got access to this European 3.5. Obviously, we've got the Atlantic as well, which is the American equivalent. And if you look at it, the stats are pretty similar. I mean, this chap's actually got more power, even though it's a smaller engine, because, well, Europe is a region of completely flat land, and they never have to go up anything like a mountain at all. We've also got the PLM 220, another European fella, the Big C. Apparently, it's futuristic. I'm doing air quotes for that one. Do we go with the staple, the mogul? I mean, I'm a bit worried our fleet is starting to get a bit uniform, but I sort of don't want to build any more generals, given that they were invented in 1858 and they're actually going to go out of fashion a year. So I reckon we upgrade our existing trains to moguls and we chuck another couple on, and we hope that we get a bit more variety in the future, because I just don't see the need to put the Atlantics on at this stage. We'll save them for the main lines. So we'll go a mogul. We'll go the Clerestories, so we'll go 4 of them, and we'll send him out on the river line. Off you go. Yeah. We'll do it again. So we're doubling the number of trains. We're still way under the capacity of the line itself, but baby steps. We don't want to overload things. Now, how old are you? You're 15. You're probably the one I looked at before, weren't you? So let's have a look. Vehicles. We've got 15 years and 6 years. Oh, so this chap's even younger. Struth. We should probably attend him, and I should probably find out what that error noise was in the background. That is largely concerning. But first we'll upgrade this chap. No, okay, we'll upgrade both those chappies to moguls with 4 cars, And we'll just cheap out on that by not bothering to send them to the depot. We'll just replace them in place there. And we'll do 37 as well. Yes, please. 2.5 million. Yeah, it's pennies on the dollar for the value we're going to get because... Okay, there's no one... No, there are people waiting. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong line there. So there we go. There's one of our new trains rolling into Plano now. And he actually wants to go to Plano too, which is good because that's where he is. And stop! So all those poor people like Grace that just missed the last train and going, oh, I gotta wait 23 minutes for the next one. This is ridiculous. Surprise! We've got a new train. People on this platform, you may be waiting a little while. But that's not my problem. So, good luck, everybody. So, whilst on the topic of piss-poor train frequencies, I'm sitting here at, I think it's Fort Collins, and we're watching the Southwestern Branch roll in, or that train that goes from Austin to Midland. And, yeah, it's a fairly handsome-looking train carrying a few people, all of whom have now gotten off the train, so... He is now actually departing empty. But this line here has a frequency of 36 minutes, which is far less than ideal. So we are now going to take steps to improving that. And I get the feeling we're going to be upgrading you to a mogul as well in good time. So the first step we're going to take is sort of double track a bit of this junction here and put in a bit more of a passing loop sort of on the hill here so that we don't get too much of a delay to our happy little stone train here. He's still making decent money. Probably could be doing better, but we sort of built him and forgot about him. But, he's producing construction materials, and eventually we'll get that construction materials transported, I guess, somewhere, down to Boston. But I'm trying to yak because I need this bloke to clear the junction, but he's not going to do it, so I'm just going to hit the pause button and do a bit of demolishing. In fact, we're not even affecting his track, so I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know anymore. So we'll double track out a bit here and then go back to single track because we'll leave the provision for double track in the future because we will inevitably need it. But for now, if we're only running 2 or 3 trains, we can definitely get away with running single track. Now he's going to whistle like crazy because I've changed the order of his track or whatever it is that sets him off. Let's have a look. Yep, he's made a liar out of me. Not a peep out of him. You must be the only non-whistle happy train on the network. Good for you, sir. The local residents applaud your diligence to good driving technique and not whistling like a madman. So yeah, we want to start double tracking up here. So I imagine we'll bring the second track sort of out of this out of the siding here. Yeah, that lines up well because the second track's on the other side. In that case, we'll line it up on the other side, and we'll just have to build a fancy schmancy junction instead. So, can we connect this up without having to demolish anything? We can. That's a nice surprise. Normally it sort of gives me some sort of construction not possible error or possible construction not, if it's talking like Yoda. So I'll put a set of points in there, and we'll just run this down and sort of, can just peter out around here, I guess. Because, yeah, at the moment, one train, no problems. But there's plenty of room for him to wait sort of on this section here, so that's not an issue if there is a train coming down the hill. We can get rid of this now. Redundant signal. Careful. We don't want to accidentally demolish any track. That would be a bad thing. Yes. That should be fine. So we've now double tracked up here. We can get rid of these points. Bye-bye. And we'll get rid of that signal there. And replace it. No, hang on. It was this signal I wanted to get rid of. That signal that we had was fine, and I sincerely apologise to anyone who was a fan of that signal because it was an unnecessary demolition. That's good. Now we've got a few signals there. The tunnel can probably stay single track. How much is it going to cost to double track? Oh, 100 grand, yeah. Easy. Okay, so I've changed my mind. The tunnel will now be double track. That's good. We had a signal on the way there, but we've managed to squeeze the second track in. And yeah, we'll just run the double track all the way down to the quarry, I guess. Again, it's probably overkill, but better to have too many tracks than not enough, I guess. So we'll need to... How are we going to do this? I'll just put the second track in all the way down to here, I guess. Just sort of shoehorn that in like that. Why do we have a track? Oh, the depot, of course. Yes, it's been so long since I built this, I've forgotten how basic trains work. Trains come out of a depot. Trains go into a depot to be sold. Yeah. So that should be okay. We do need a set of points to get him into the quarry from the new track. That'll do wonderfully. Oh, that's a nice looking curved turnout there. And then we'll put in a couple of signals down here for that junction. Yeah, it should be fine. Now, my only concern with signalling up this hill here is, where's the hill start there? Is that now our friend here isn't going to get much of a run up to the tunnel, but I think the worst part of the hill is actually on the other side where the tunnel is. So I'm hoping that if he's following a passenger train, he won't sort of stick up on the hill. What was I just talking about? Trains getting over, you know, whistly. You about done? Yeah, okay. Good man. And here comes the other train up the hill, which is nice. Now, as a sort of a final hurrah to the... Okay, now you want to whistle. You've made a liar out of me. Oh, bollocks. I've gotten rid of the wrong bit of track. Oh, quick, put it back, put it back, put it back, put it back. There we go. Yes, now we're going to get rid of that bit. There we go. That's okay. Get rid of that signal. And we'll just put a friend signal to the one outside the tunnel. Oh, it's on for young and old here. Listen to them go. Maybe they know each other. I don't know. Maybe it's like, oh, there's Barry on the stone train. Hi, Barry. Doot, doot. Oh, there's Bill on the passenger train. Yeah, woo, woo. I got no idea. It's just madness. So, yeah, as I was saying, as a final hurrah for the general, I reckon we chuck another couple of generals on this line just to sort of say, hey, we appreciate your service. We don't appreciate the passengers on this line, and they can just sort of deal. And before we build them, we should probably, do a bit more work on this section of track here, because this hill is very slow for our poor old trains, and yeah, having single track means this will be quite a jam up point. So I definitely want to double track this bridge, and I definitely expect it to have a problem with bridge pillars. Well, that was a pleasant surprise. I honestly thought it'd be like, I'm too close to the road, I'm not going to let you do that, because that's how bridges talk, assuming bridges can talk. I've just hit the pause button there so I don't upset anyone, but I'm pretty sure the train is on the other side of the world. So that's good there. What are you, a one-way signal? Not anymore. And we'll give you a friend. There you go. You guys can sit and talk about signal issues, because I don't know what else do signals talk about. The weather, how many birds have shat on them recently. So yeah, we'll double track this cutting, and are we coming into town on the right-hand side? Sorry, not the right-hand side, the correct side for the station. We sort of are and we aren't, so the bulldozer tool will be used liberally again. Just back that off a bit, bring that down there, and then bring that one down like that. Now we've managed to double track the entire hill, which is, well, I don't know why we didn't just double track the flat section, because that would have been a lot cheaper. But, you know, we can live with it, and we'll probably use this extra track eventually. We can space the signals out a bit more, though, if we're not running as many trains. Because, again, I don't want trains sort of stopping on the uphill section and being unable to get started. Because especially this section here, I was watching him the other day, he was crawling up across this bridge. Made for a dramatic sort of scenic shot as he crossed the bridge, but look at the mountains in the background. You got the old wooden trestle, and you look this way and you can see a big amount of bugger all. But certainly the mountains the other way are much more interesting. Yeah, we might as well just double track this flat section here because, well, why the hell not? When in Rome, as they say. When in Rome. So we'll run that down. Now, of course, it's going to complain because, well, we've gone and broken it. So, 100 grand, not even, just for half the route. That's a bargain as far as I'm concerned. And the other half is, yeah, so about 200 grand to double track that section on the flat there. So that's not too bad. Now we don't need that set of points anymore. Thinking, no. No, we didn't. Good. I was half expecting a warning to pop up, and that would cause a moment of sort of panic, as I am wont to do. And yeah, again, we can keep the signals fairly well spaced out on this section because we're not running many trains. We're just double tracking it because we can. So we'll put in a couple here at this level crossing for the whatever refinery thing that is. Possibly a refinery. And we've already got some at the station there. Good. So, as I was saying, we are going to have a sort of a last hurrah for the general here. And we'll send another couple of generals out on this line. And it's already disappeared from the menu. So, yeah, completely scratch that. Just completely cancel it. Go back, remove it, scrub it from the audio. Okay, we need to find a new type of train. Now, you arguably going up a heck of a big hill. So your power, 130 kilowatts, is, well, mediocre is probably kind. I would have said shit, but we'll go with mediocre. Top speed of 45, doesn't really worry us, but if we could get up on that, that'd be good. What else is important here? Nothing really. So, what I'm wondering is, do we go the bald one? I know it's a freight engine, but it does have twice as much power with some in change, and it's faster. So it can leap and, scream up the hill, but we're not paying as much as we would for a Mogul or, an Atlantic or a 3.5. Because the 3.5 is 2.5 million. I'm not spending that on this pokey little branch line. But likewise, I get the feeling that the Mogul will be overkill as well, even though that's sort of 900 grand. So I'm thinking we press a freight engine into passenger service. Because, well, it fulfills the criteria. It's faster. I'm counting my fingers here, by the way. Faster, gets up the hill quickly, or quicker than the general, and it looks cool. Plus, it's American. We're in America, so America. So, give me a bald one. I know it's probably sacrilege to be putting passenger carriages with this thing, but yeah, okay. So we've got a choice of taking a 10k an hour speed cut for the passenger car, or we go the Clerestory and just waste 20k's an hour. Yeah, bugger it. They're modern. They look good. So we'll put that down, and we'll send you out on the Southwestern branch. And we'll go with 3 trains on this line, and of course, by building them all at this depot, they will be nicely bunched up, so hopefully they space themselves out. And if they don't, well, I could care less, because we're going to naff off to another part of the map. And we're going to say goodbye to this old girl. We should probably select a replacement for you first, so we'll go the bald one. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So, everyone say goodbye to the General. I'm not sure if this is the last General we've got in service, but just in case it is, everyone say goodbye. I am waving at the computer screen. I am that sad. You heard it here first. Well, not that you needed to hear that I'm sad. You all knew it. So, yeah, make it happen. Boom. I forgot that it doesn't happen instantaneously, and he's got to make his way over to the station to do it. But, yeah. Do we have any other Generals in service? Just have a quick skim of the train list here. Moguls, Baldwins, Moguls, Baldwins, Moguls, I'm detecting a theme here. And Atlantics. Nope, that is the last General that we've got running. So, you've done well, old fella, but it's time to sashay off to the... Hey, look, logs to planks to machine factory. Or even machine factory. Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted. Bye, train. Look, I've found something new we can build. But probably not this part because, that'll involve a lot of connections and things I've already been rabbiting on for about half an hour or so. I don't know. Who looks at the time? I do, because I don't want to waste your time. We got a lot of people waiting at Toledo. That's already taken off. 68 people via Mount Importance. Wacko. Do we have to upgrade this line already? Seriously? How are we going in Cincinnati? A few people waiting for that line. Most people waiting for the main line. Where else does that line go? I'm going to Plano. I know it goes to Plano, but Mount Importance is probably the other key town that we've got to visit. 50. That town is really growing. I mean, our bus service doesn't really come down here, and we've still seen a great expanse of town. Yeah. Oh, we are covering that part of town at least. So that's okay. We got a bus stop up here. Yeah. Okay. So we've actually got a reasonably good bus service, and I'm just really pleased we don't have to demolish this bridge, because I really don't think we're ever going to get that bridge back again. But yeah, the reason I've come back to Mount Importance is obviously we built this third platform here and then ran out of time to actually do anything with it, because I was like, double check the river line, double check this and upgrade that, and I sort of forgot to do anything else. So where were we going to build that line? Originally it was going to be Orlando, but there's a heckin' great big hill in the way. Not a mountain. That's a mountain. That's a hill. Mountain. Hill. I was going to build on towards Columbus, wasn't I? Because we were going to have a line from Cincinnati to Columbus via Orlando and Toledo to Laredo. Or we could even bring the line from Laredo around to Toledo into Laredo there, because would we? Yeah, we'll be able to go via... Ooh, we will have to build a fancy junction down here though, won't we? Because I'm thinking if we go Cincinnati, Toledo, come through this platform and up to Laredo, but then, we'll have crossing tracks everywhere. Oh, I love it. Yes, we're heading for Columbus. Orlando will just have to wait for now. because I want to make use of that extra platform at Mount Importance before I forget. So, bring up the contour lines, and what are we looking at? We're looking at a fairly flat shot all the way down here. Got a couple of farms here that will be useful. I mean, difficult to bypass. We'll probably have to sort of swing down around through the road here. And there's probably a pretty gentle hill down into Columbus. And then, look, I guess that's where that line will terminate. I'm not sure. I suspect so, because the Cincinnati, Orlando, Columbus line will probably curve around to Laredo and then onto Visalia. And then we'll have Cincinnati, Toledo, Laredo, down to Midland as well. So that way we've sort of got all the towns connected, except Mount Importance to Midland and Fort Collins, and that might be an option for planes later. But yeah, so first of all, we need to sort out where the junction's going to be. Probably here. It's all pretty flat around here. So we could probably get away with sort of peeling a track off in that direction, and just we'll double track the junction for now, just to avoid any arguments between trains as they all come into the hub that is Toledo. And by hub, I'm being very kind. I actually mean small junction station. Okay, so remember, the second track needs to be on the left. Let's see if we can actually plan this out properly. You know I've already forgotten it. I'll put in signals at the junction before I forget. There we go. Thank you. Thanks for playing. No, I don't want to rename it. Toledo signal 11 is it? What have I broken? Why have I broken you? You want to go from Toledo to Cincinnati. Oh, because you're trying to use the one platform, aren't you? Well, maybe you should be using platform 2. See, that fixed it. Didn't even have to think about it. I didn't realize I never specified it should use the second platform. Also, this junction's gotten a bit janky. What's going on here? Okay. Redesigning the junction, ripping the signals out for starters. Yep. Bye-bye. Yep. Because it does not want to put a diamond crossing there, unfortunately. So, how are we going to do this? We're probably going to have multiple tracks down at the station here anyway. So, if we sort of come out like this, yeah, I know, right? Yep, autosave's just going to interrupt there. Then it won't matter because we'll be having multiple tracks coming in anyway. And we'll bring you. No, you're not gonna play ball. Bring you in like that. Yeah, good. And then we'll cross you over like that. Is that going to be happier? That's reasonably smooth. I mean, I don't like the way this comes off here, but we're going to have to live with it. And it means I can repurpose that signal and flatten that one. So, it's a win-draw situation, I guess. The only downside to this junction alignment as opposed to the original one is any trains coming from Columbus will have to sort of snake through here, and it'll be a bit slower, so they'll be blocking this line for a little bit longer. But we'll just have to timetable it so they meet the other train to Columbus here. Like we're going to get that right. We can't even design our track properly. So yeah, keeping it flat, please. Now we're going to want to head down towards this road here. So bring the contours back up. Okay, so we're trying to avoid this little hill here. That shouldn't be too bad. Now, if we build down like this, it's all pretty flat, isn't it? I am trying to avoid smashing apart any fields because that's expensive. So now we're starting to get downhill. That's okay. It's okay. We can handle it. We've got a forest down here as well. Columbus is a bit of a hole. No offense to real life Columbus. I'm talking about this one. It's in a bit of a depression. Now, I've noticed there's a construction materials plant on the other side here, but yeah, sort of no way to get to it unless you want to send trucks over this ridiculously scenic mountain pass. I am so easily distracted. I'm trying to build a train line, and how cool is that? But yeah, sorry, building a train line. No, the reason I saw that was I was trying to figure out where we're going to build our station. So all the residential's on this side of town. So we're definitely going to need a local bus service because I'm pretty sure the station's going to end up shoehorned in this sort of area here because we want to get up to Laredo. We are going to want a curved platform here for sure. So let's give it a bit of extra length. Let's go 200 just because the way the game calculates the curves means that the inside radius platform is going to be a bit shorter than the stated length. So is that enough of a curve? I think so. I think that's fine. Yeah, we sort of go like that, I guess. We can stick you on the edge of the road there, but I'd rather connect these roads up. I'd rather connect these roads up in a way that's slightly more attractive. Okay, no, there we go. Okay, that's better. We'll just smash aside those things. Now that's is that gonna be a problem? Can we make that road longer approaching the station? Yes, we can. So what if we sort of chuck it in here? There we go. That looks all right. Now that's it's not enough. We want 2 tracks because we're future proofing. There we go. Okay, and we've even got some catchment of the industrial area. So yeah, build that. I realise it's miles out of town, but the town will expand to meet it. But yeah, so the inside radius here might be slightly less than 200, which is fine because we're only building 160 metre trains, if that, at the moment. It just means when we expand, we'll have to keep an eye on the inner tracks here because, look, if you were to upgrade it to sort of 8 tracks there... Oh, no, it has lengthened it. It's made a liar out of me. Or has it? No, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Okay, well, that's probably less than 200 metres. Let's just agree to disagree. Or agree to agree, depending on what your opinion is. But that's the station. Cool, connecting it up. Now, I've already forgotten what side the second track was going to be on. It's going to be on the right-hand side or the road side. Okay, so the road side. Good. Remember that, the road side. So coming downhill, getting rid of some road, which makes remembering that it's on the road side incredibly useless if we demolish the road. Why is there a kink in the road here? I don't care for that. I'm rebuilding that road completely. Yeah, back it all the way back there. And now this should... Oh dear. Oh no, that's okay. I was looking at it suddenly becoming some sort of giant mountain of mountingness. Yeah, that's a description. Let's back the road back there. Let's see if we can get a straight highway into town. I realise this is probably at the detriment to my rail service because people will see a nice straight highway and just go, I'll just drive. That's actually not too bad. Now, can we get a cool bridge over this little gully here? Not that we need a bridge because it's serving a forest that we have no interest in at the moment, but I think it looks cool. Okay, so you had a nice angle for a second there. Oh, yeah, go back to that nice angle. There you go, that's a nice angle. I like that one. Now let's try... No. Okay, this part, cool. That part, not so much. So we may have to build this in sections. And by may, I mean we will. So let's bring this around like that. I don't know why you're trying to hump. Stop humping. If you could come in like that. Now you should be able to connect up nicer. Yeah? Yeah? There you go. You're putting a bridge in. The bridge is hideous, but you're putting a bridge in. That's a bit better. Arguably too much slope. Not according to the game, but just according to me. So what are our bridge options here? We can... See, again, the one pillar thing doesn't really... It's not doing it for me. So I'll probably go the nice modern green bridge, but... Yeah, I'm curious if we can't do a bit better. What if we do that? Okay, that's a bit nicer to look at, but... It's sort of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, isn't it? Or do we just have a bigger bridge in town? Just sort of from here over to here. Because the town will expand out in this direction. Let's try that. Let's see if we can get a more pleasing bridge if we have a bit more of a run up. So if I want to build a bridge over there, say, ooh, that's nice. That's better. There we go. That's a nicer looking bridge, and yeah, it gives us a bit more room to play. So what are we going to go with? We'll go with that. That looks nice. And then, of course, now that we've got the bridge we want, we can sort of build the road that we want. Okay, that's not going to work really well, is it? Yeah. No, it's okay. That's not too bad. I will sort of upgrade the bridge. I don't want to upgrade the whole thing. Just the bridge bit. There we go. That'll do. Just so it looks nice. You know, coming out of town, it's got some nice trees there and some sort of dip there that we're going to now immediately correct because I don't like it. That's a little better. It's not the way I would have picked it, but you know, whatever. We'll go with it. And then of course this road here can extend. No, don't rise up to meet it, you git. Hopefully we can fit a road in under this bridge here. Nope. Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay, so I'll help the town out by putting this little bit of road in here and sort of connecting that up for them so they know what to do. Because otherwise they'd probably try and connect up to the bridge and it'd look awful. And I'll just bookmark this bit of train track in here because, well, you know, I kind of need it. In fact, we should probably put a couple of passing loops on this section here because we've got the double track ending here. Should we just double track the whole thing from the starter? It is tempting. I mean, we've got the money. So we may as well just double track the whole thing and damn the expense because, well, it saves coming back and doing it later. So yeah, and it's quite quick to do now while we're in the zone rather than building passing loops that we have to demolish. So I'll bring this all the way down and connect up there. That was only a few $100,000 really. It's chump change when you consider it. Now, are you gonna? That's the wrong road. Are you gonna want to connect up with a reasonable level crossing? You are going to try and take a big chunk out of... Oh, no, that's ugly. No. I won't be tolerating that. What if we bring you out here? Still ugly. Okay. I have several regrets about building that. Should have probably looked at it before building it. How are we going to get across our own railway line then? Oh. We'll just connect the road up down there to that existing one. Yeah, that'll do. It's not like we're using it for anything. And yeah, what's a few $100,000 in road that we don't need to build just to avoid an ugly level crossing? I say nothing. I say it's fine. That's a bit more than I want to spend. That'll do. Good. Now we've fulfilled our obligation to connect that farm up for, I don't know, whatever reason. And we will need a set of points down here at the station so trains can change tracks. That'll be fine. That looks nice and pretty. Well, pretty enough. What is it, 1908? Now we can keep building the venerable old semaphores, and again, not going to be a terribly busy line, so we can space the signals out pretty well here. No, except placing it there would be a mistake. So, you know, I don't mind spacing them out, but wrong side signals, hell no, not going to deal with that. And then we'll build a couple more, sort of up here. I can't see what I'm building. There we go, and down near the oil refinery thing. Possibly an oil refinery. Did we end up? We didn't remove these points here. Bye-bye. And we'll celebrate by placing a signal. That should be okay there. And while we're at it, we may as well double track the line down into Mount Importance itself. Because, well, it seems kind of fruitless to double track that other line and not double track this when this will be seeing more trains. Can we connect that up without demolishing anything? No, it's gonna have a problem with us. So now it's going to have a problem because I've demolished the points. No, autosave now. No, your timing could not be worse. We'll put a temporary set of points in here just to keep everyone happy. And double tracking through here. 400,000 for a second tunnel. Well, that's not too bad. And now you are going to come up. Please let this track come in on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, rather. Okay, so the track comes in sort of okay, but there's also a giant-ass house in the way. So we may have a bit of a problem there. I will start building into the tunnel though. Worst comes to worst, we just have to rejig the exit of the tunnel. Okay, so we're getting closer. Are we going to get away with this? One building will be removed. Okay. I'm willing to sacrifice that house. I'm more wary about this bridge here. Gentle. Collision. What are we collisioning with? Our own track. That's okay. It's okay. We can sort this out. So get rid of the building and just back a bit more track off because we're following the train line in. There we go. It's fine. It's all good. We haven't upset the apple cart very much. We'll need a set of points in here. Can we? No. Okay. Can we get it? Can we get it in here? We can. Okay. That's good. It's not really good because our trains will scrape the wall here. So I'm sorry, sir. Your house has to go. And can we improve things at all? No. We're still sort of. I mean, I don't think that's how sleepers work. Okay, we can do this without demolishing the bridge. I have faith. Okay, we come under the bridge, sort of to about there. There we go. That's better. And now we'll just have to have a bit of a kink to get into our platform here. That's not even that bad. I can live with that. I can live with that. And then we'll just have the set of points coming out here, so it looks a bit more natural. Looks like we planned it that way. There we go. That's actually all right. I'm a big fan of that. And then we disappear into the tunnel and go under the town, and no one is any the wiser that there was ever a train here to begin with. So yeah, throw a signal down there. We have upset the Southern Cross Country line. I mean, look, that is not attractive coming into the platform there, but I just, short of demolishing and rebuilding the station or this bridge, I don't think there's much we can do about it. So we'll just have to deal with it as is. So why is this line upset? What have we done to it? What's the problem? Mount importance to Toledo. Well, you can come up this new line I've built, can't you? You're on the new line right now. I'm a bit confused as to what your issue is. I'm not certain you understand how train tracks work. So you're saying you can't get from Mount Importance platform 2. Oh, because you're using that platform. Okay, never mind. That's on me. That's all me, guys. I'm sorry about that. You can hold me personally responsible. So, can we get a cheeky... You had it. Oh my god, we can do it. And it's not even unattractive. I don't know what sorcery we've used to connect this up. And, you know, I'm pretty sure we've sacrificed a lot of goats on the altar of the track building gods, but you know what? It all works. Don't question it. Don't bulldoze it. Don't ever... I'm gesturing at the screen again. Don't ever touch this area, because it can only end badly for us. You know I'm going to come back and try and put a 4th platform in here, and it's just going to end in tears. Although, we've got the... No, just don't. Don't even entertain it. Now, I don't like putting signals in tunnels, because you can't see that they're there, and you forget about them. So we might end up with a bit of a queue coming in and out of this tunnel here. I hope not. But if we do, I'm going to have to live with it, because that's my decision. You're not a one-way anymore, because we're going to pick those points. These signals up here are fine. You can probably go. We'll move you down to the tunnel. Sort of about there. Again, we got a shortish tunnel there. A couple of signals. I said a couple of signals. A couple. There we go. And once he crosses over, we can get rid of these points down here. Okay, a lot of whistling going on again. I get the feeling I've upset him. Yes, very good. So you cross over. I'm aware. Thank you for pointing it out, though. And those points are now Gonskis. Gonzo. They're done. Good. Okay, cool. So now all we need to do is put some trains on the line from Columbus to Mount Importance, and we probably also need to build that line. So let's make that happen. So hopefully you're going to use the new platform. Yeah, number 3. Good man. You're going to come through Toledo, and then we are going to make tracks down to Columbus. Get it? Make tracks. Yeah. What are we going to call you? I guess. What's that line called? I don't even know. That's the Southern Cross Country. Well, arguably this is more southern, so... Well, actually, we've got the Southwest branch. Let's call this the Southeast branch. Doesn't really make any sense, but, you know, it's a Southwestern and Southeast. Okay, let's just change that to Eastern to maintain the consistency. Look, at least we know what they're doing. That's going to the Southwest. This is going to the Southeast. The best I got at the moment. I'll probably come up with a much better name for it in time, or completely forget it exists and never rename it ever until I come back and go, what the hell is this Southeastern branch line? Next question, how do we get a train on that line? Because of the way the points are, we can't actually have a train come into this platform down here. So we need a train that can access Toledo or Columbus. So we need a train that can access Toledo. He can get there from this line here, but that line there is not actually connected up. Yeah, okay, so it is time to build a new depot somewhere. I might actually build one down here in Cincinnati, I think. Cincinnati, major town, it's probably in need of a depot, and it might solve some of our woes vis-a-vis actually getting trains onto the lines we want to get them on. So we'll drop it. We'll need a bit of space, so we'll drop it down there. And we'll sort of connect it straight up like that. And no, that's definitely not on the level with the existing main line. That is disappointing. I was hoping we could sort of have a cheeky set of cross tracks across this section that I'm smoothing now, but we might be able to get away with it. There might be enough room that you can have a bit of a grade. So we need to put in a set of points in like that. Please work. It didn't work, and it is Yeah, it's janky. Okay. It was a nice idea. Next question. Can we just run a train in? No, because of how I built the junction. Okay, well, that was a fun idea that we're going to forget I ever had. Cool. Okay, next idea. Build one up in Columbus. Because it's the middle of nowhere. We've got plenty of land to use. It's nice and flat. The main line is going to continue off in this direction. So we'll get that built first. And then we'll, sort of, I guess, wang a depot in over there. So we'll have a set of points coming off like this. Like that. We'll double slip that just to save on infrastructure. And then we'll shoehorn a depot in there. Yeah, okay, that works. And he can access either platform from his new bit of track there. So that's good. So now all we need to do is pick a train. And again, sticking with the American theme where possible. It really gives us a choice of the Mogul, the Baldwin, or the Atlantic. Or do we go European? I mean, I just can't justify spending 2.5 million, and this thing really doesn't have much power. So I think we're going to go Mogul. I'm really looking forward to the sort of the diesel era when we get a bit more variety, because at the moment we're just churning out exactly the same train over and over and over and over and over and again and over again. How many trains do we want? I'm going to say 3 to start with. Go 3. That should be enough. Set line. Southeastern branch. Off you go. And while they're all chortling out of the depot, well, actually, I might connect this road up here, just to really encourage the town to do a bit of expansion. Yeah, and I'll upgrade. No, I don't want to build. I want to upgrade that, so it looks nice. Because I'm thinking what we do is we run the bus route around this way, and I mean it's a bit out of the way, but it might sort of encourage a bit of town expansion into this area anyway. And then bring the bus sort of down around the outskirts here, and then through the centre, like that. Will you connect up? In what possible universe would I want to build it like that? No, you're going to try it again. What about like that? Also ugly. Okay, we'll just have to sort of guesstimate roughly how we want it, and that's autosave. Very useful because my computer is prone to crashing, but yeah, always picks the most inopportune time. Do we want to curve or do we want to sort of straight line it? Well, we've straight lined it, so that's how that's going to be. There's our first train, or yep, no, the second one hasn't run yet. So there he goes, completely empty because, well, we've got a catchment area of a couple of industrial buildings. So we'll get a local transport service going and call it a day, I reckon. So we'll put the bus stop in here. We'll put a bus stop in sort of over here. And again, this one's kind of redundant at the moment, but you know, we'll see some use for it eventually. Pop one in here. Now we definitely want one near the centre of town. This will probably be the most busy bus stop of them all. I'll drop another one in here. Drop another one in over here for if the town expands up into the hills. And then we'll just put one at the end of this street here just because why the hell not? Now this one, the town is, look, it's not a big town as far as population goes, but geographically it's quite spread out. So I am probably going to build both directions of the city circle now just to save too much wear and tear on the one direction. Not the band, the actual city circle. So we'll put the depot in on the outskirts of town as usual because we don't want to sort of affect town growth near the station. So we'll drop it in there. That's a reasonable angle, I'm sure. I was really primed to get it in 90 degrees and I sort of phoned it in. When have I ever not? So starting at the station, which is apparently Poplar Street, we'll run a nice little clockwise circle around here. And by doing so, that should catch pretty much every building in the town, I hope. So this is the Columbus City Circle clockwise. Have I gotten that as per our... yes, I have. Town name, city circle, and then direction. Good. And then I'll need to build another one. Close that. Going in the opposite direction, we've gone for a lime green. Arguably not the most subtle colour. Probably functional. People will definitely know there's a line there. We do paint the line on the road so our buses know where to go, right? We don't? Ooh, okay. Fair enough. This is the Columbus city circle anti-clockwise. Yeah, there we go. Now we just need to send out some similarly lime green buses to serve that route. So we'll say, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for each direction, I guess. It's probably overkill, but you know what, Columbus? I have faith in you. We have Columbus and Columbia on the same map. Yeah, that's not going to get confusing at all. 6 again, and that was clockwise, please. Yeah, so what we need now is a plane from Columbus to Columbia, just so it can be all like, oh yeah, that's not confusing at all. We've got a forest down here. Can we do anything with that? Yeah. I'm just sort of neglecting to notice the industries we're bringing into the fold. There we go. Hello. Yeah, hello. Hello. Or, you know, hello. Yeah, okay. I'm not opposed. I'm seeing a few... Oh, God, March of the Buses. Oh, good, they are starting to split up. We've got, you know, private cars starting to appear. So hopefully our buses are a fair and suitable option. And this should be the third train rolling out now, I imagine. Yes. So now that we've got a bus service, people can arrive at the station and find out they've just missed the 3 trains and they have to wait 4 days to the next one. Because timetabling is apparently not a thing we excel at. How are you going with the hill? You're loving it. 42 k's an hour. Not picking up speed, but you're not losing it either. A couple of farms too. Can we do anything with food here? We've got a food production thing all the way over there. I'm thinking we run grain trains over here, and because, you know, obviously the abattoir we're using is all the way down here. And boy, oh boy, have we got a lot of cattle waiting here. In fact, they're actually sending cattle out on the trucks. I'm curious to see what your end game is. So you want to send the cattle out on the truck into Tucson. Then you're going to send the cattle down here. And then I reckon you're putting the cattle on the train, the Boston Interstate Freighter, to go that way. You know what? I'm not even mad, because you're probably using surplus capacity. Okay, I know I said I was going to wrap things up by the time I did the Columbia thingy, but it does appear as if we've got a bit of a backlog down here at Tucson. So I'm going to throw a few more trucks on the old Tucson goods deliveries route. Look at the highway we've got going into town here for freight deliveries. That's fantastic. So yeah, we're definitely going to need probably another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Set them on Tucson goods deliveries. God, we've got a lot of lines going. I love it. This is good. This is good. This is the mark of a good Transport Fever game. Probably this is the first free game I've actually taken past 1900. But yeah, we definitely need more trains. 568. It's probably a bit much. So we've got 4 on at the moment. Let's put another 2 on. Let's be bold. Let's be bold and decisive. Maybe not, because we've also got a lot of congestion going on. Okay, next time I'm going to have to revisit this. We've got to stop expanding and fix what is needing to be fixed yet again. A lot of people waiting, a lot of food and goods rather, waiting to go back to Tucson. Unless, does that line keep going? No, it does turn around there. Why are the goods not being unloaded here? Why are they sending it? No, who knows. But yeah, a lot of food waiting to go to Orange as well. And 1 food waiting to go to Boston. So hopefully Boston is doing quite well for food. 20%, okay, so it's not. So, if we move more cattle, we get more food. So, yeah, definitely got a backlog coming in here. What are you waiting for? You're the Boston Interstate Freight. Which platform is that using? Number 2, okay. So there's a train leaving there now, that's okay. So everything is moving through. I think what we need to do is actually get less trains turning around here and more trains continuing on down to Orange or wherever, Ventura. In fact, what's the Ventura line do? Does that turn around here as well, or does that keep going? That keeps going. What line is that anyway? So the crude fuel comes through non-stop in Minneapolis Interstate Freight, Boston Interstate Freight. How are we getting the cattle out of Ventura? Oh, that is the Minneapolis Interstate Freight line. Okay, fair enough. So that is already fulfilling its obligation of not stopping. Yeah, because I'm just noticing we got a bit of a backup of cattle down there, but not as bad as Tucson. I was thinking maybe we could run the Tucson trains like we used to, Tucson, Abattoir, Ventura, but that's currently being fulfilled by the Minneapolis Interstate Freight. Although that said, we could continue the cattle trains on and just turn the Minneapolis Freight around here, because where do you stop next? You stop at Orange as well. Well, that's not a problem. We can just stop the stop the Tucson cattle trains there and free these guys up to... Yes, okay, so I might do that. Yeah, I'm going to wrap things up, yeah, sure. I've ended up in some sort of quagmire of freight train argy-bargy, because if we're going to put more trains on this line, I don't want them turning around here. So, cattle tucks to Sinbad, we're going to extend to Ventura, and we're going to make it cattle food, because, well, that's what it's always been. So, after San Bernardino Abattoir, if you could please stop in at Orange, and then go down to Ventura, and you've calculated that nicely. On the way back, you don't have to stop to pick anything up, do you? No, I don't think the Minneapolis Interstate Freight is stopping anywhere down there. I see you've decided to use the passenger line. Yeah, look, you can, but I'd rather you not. In fact, you actually do need to go via the abattoir anyway, so that's okay. So what we're going to have to do is do a bit of a platform switchy. So, show me Minneapolis Interstate Freight. Okay, so you are currently using... where are we? San Bernardino Abattoir. You're currently using 1 and 4. So I'd like you to use 1. Yeah. Is that good? That's what we want. And 4. Good. And now I'd like you to come into 3. Yep. And then we'll just get rid of the extra stations you've got there. Yeah, get rid of that one. Yeah, I know. I've fixed it. So now the interstate freight is the one turning around there. And because that's a bit more, what's the problem? Train 12 is having an issue. Where are you? Oh, I see. You're off in no man's land. Ah, cool. Can you go to a depot? Yeah, can. See, this is why I don't put one-way signals as every signal, because he can now turn around and sort of get back out. And now if I put you on Minneapolis Interstate Freight, you should be able to sort of just pick up your next station. I mean, the risk is that another train will come in and block him on this line because there is a signal here, but hopefully he can keep going. Yeah? Okay, good. So by freeing up the interstate freighters to not have to come down there, we can now put more trains on the cattle food line and just have them shuttle between Tucson and Ventura without having to worry about a massive log jam as they all try and turn around at the abattoir. So what are we using? We're using Baldwins on this line at the moment, so we'll go more Baldwins. How many are they hauling? They're hauling 12 vans. Are they the old or the new vans? It's hard to tell. Let's actually have a look at the train. Oh my god, we got too many windows open. That's the Virginia and Truckee wagon, whatever that is. What's this one? That's Virginia and Truckee as well. Okay, I'm not sure if that means they're new vans or if they're just a different design with the same name. Either way, we've got 12 now. Let's try and go 14. I've lost count already. Let's just start again. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's why, because the stations are only 160 meters, aren't they? Okay, so we're going 12 for now, and we'll next time we'll have to investigate lengthening the stations. Why did I close the depot window? I was using that. So we've gone with 4 extra trains. We've doubled the capacity, but we've also extended the length of the line. So I'm hoping that'll also increase capacity without, being too much of a congestion creator. What are you waiting for? You're waiting for a free path. Why? Don't you want to go over here? Because there's a train there, dingus. That's yeah. We could probably put in an extra signal. No, I don't want to click on that. I want to click on this. We could probably put an extra signal in here, just to help keep things moving, because that is pretty much a one-way track there. I don't actually see any trains going the other way on it. It's only these middle ones that are bi-directional. Now, why are you off the screen and the rest of them not? That's a concern. How can I... Oh, there we go. Oh, look at that. The mouse wheel does that. Ah. Okay, cool. Just discovering things. Don't mind me. We are sending all of you out on the cattle food tucks to Sinbad to vent. And we'll have to deal with this whole mess of a station later because... Yeah. Okay, now let's see. That's what that wagon looks like. Let's have a look at the new wagons coming out of the depot. What do they look like? Do they look the same? They do. So I'm not sure if that's a new boxcar design or if we haven't actually got the new boxcar yet, because we've got the new tank car, we've got the new stake car. Surely that's the new boxcar. We've got the new gondola, I think. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But yeah, okay. Look, folks, I think that'll do us for today. Next time, more expansion, more dealing with this backed up supply chain. That's a backed up. No, look, just don't look at other backed up supply chains. You're just gonna be here all day. So yeah, once again, I'd like to thank you for joining me while we play Transport Fever on the American free game map. I hope you've enjoyed yourself, and I look forward to your company next week when we deal with this again. We completely redo something we redid only a couple of episodes ago. But that's what you tune in for, or you like the sound of my voice. I don't know. I don't, but your mileage may vary. But yeah, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you back here again next time. Later days.